Back in the early days of YouTube, the only people who ever uploaded videos were those just doing it for fun, maybe trying to get a viral hit, maybe just trying to upload something to share it with their friends. But for the most part, nobody actually expected to get anything out of it. Well, a few years into the website, YouTube decided,
if we share some of the revenue that we get from ads on people's videos, maybe that will incentivize them to make more and better content,
thus making even more money for the site. And so for the first few years of YouTube monetization, it was a very niche thing. Then fast forward to the year 2015, when articles started spreading all around the internet. It was announced that PewDiePie made over $7 million in 2014. Suddenly you had the whole internet finding out that these e-celebrities making videos in their room are making tons of money. I think that this was the specific moment when the whole idea of being a YouTuber as a dream job became much more mainstream. And of course, he had all sorts of different reactions. There were a bunch of kids saying,
"But I want to do that. I want to make tons of money playing video games."
And then you had a bunch of other people that said,
that's so stupid, why would you get paid that much to do something so basic? Anybody could do that.
And so that brings us to the topic of this video. Is being a YouTuber really the easiest thing in the world that a lot of people make it out to be? You know, it's really easy as a viewer to spend so much time on YouTube. You're looking at all of these different channels. You're seeing pretty much all of the content you watch is probably getting, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views on every video. And so you get the idea of, okay, it looks like just everybody who picks up a camera and records a video is going to be making lots of money. Maybe I should try it. But for those that actually give it a shot, you might find out that it's a little more difficult than you first thought. So let's talk about all sorts of things that come attached with being a YouTuber. So the first thing that everybody does, obviously, is come up with what you want the channel you're starting to be about. And this can actually be a pretty complicated question depending on what you're good at and what you enjoy doing. Because like maybe you're really into watching vlog channels and you want to start something like that, but you're not so good on camera, or you don't have anything exciting to talk about. Or maybe you want to start one of these documentary type channels, but then you decide that you really just don't like editing videos, you don't like spending tons of time compiling footage and doing research. So even just figuring out what it is that you want to make a channel about can be one of the most difficult parts about it. But now let's say you figured out what you want to do and you get to work. I would say that probably one of the hardest things for just about every YouTuber out there is coming up with your next video idea. I mean, sure, if you're a big enough channel, you might have a large audience of people who are feeding you ideas, telling you what they want to see. And that can always help. But I can tell you firsthand, I've been in so many situations where I've got a channel going, and I'm looking at my channel, noticing I haven't uploaded a video in a week, and I have not even started on my next one, and I do not even have an idea on what the next one's going to be about, and now I'm starting to get a little stressed out. So very often you'll see most channels will pick a very set niche, or just a very specific video style that every single video will kind of match the same template. This is why you have so many channels that will do like series videos. So like last year when I was doing Reddit videos, it was really simple. I knew exactly where I was pulling the content from. I had all of my typical ways of editing stuff. I used mostly the same music, and I basically just had to track down the content to put in the video. And so it was super easy. The content was basically just given to me every day, and I didn't actually need to come up with new ideas for every video. So next, let's talk about the actual production of the videos. Now, like I said, there were a lot of people that would say something like,
PewDiePie makes so much money when all he does is scream and play video games.
And while I can agree with that to an extent, it is sort of like a form of acting. Like you could watch a movie and you would think, why do they get paid so much? All they do is read lines and do whatever the director tells them to do. But you gotta remember, some things are not as easy as they may seem. I mean, just being able to talk on camera and be comfortable with it and sound enthusiastic and not sound so dry. Like even that is kind of a skill that you have to pick up. I wouldn't really say that I'm a complete expert talking to the camera, but just compare me talking right now to my very first video that I uploaded a couple years ago.
As far as posture goes, you're going to want to have your guitar in a place that's it's very stable, and also that when you reach your hand up here, your elbow is right in the spot to strum the strum bar when you need to.
It's kind of a funny thing because it's not very obvious when you are getting better at it. But then if you go back and watch your older videos, you're thinking like, wow, I can't believe how much more awkward I was on camera back then. So alright, you've come up with your channel idea, you've come up with your video idea, you're trying to get better at recording and doing well on camera, or just recording whatever it is that you're making the videos about. And then you've most likely got to learn some form of video editing. Now, basic video editing is not that difficult. For a lot of videos, really all you have to do is take the footage and chop it up. Just cut out all of the blank space, cut out all of the pointless parts of the video, maybe add some music, maybe put in some visuals if you really want. But you're gonna need to at least learn how to use some sort of video editing software, whether it's Sony Vegas or Adobe Premiere. I personally use Premiere. And the more you use it, the more you kind of learn different things that you can do with it, and you'll become more experienced with it. Well, now you've got your video all finished, you can upload it, and now you've got to come up with a thumbnail. So now it's time to learn to use some sort of photo editing software like Photoshop. or there's other free ones you can find around the internet if you really want. But being able to create a good thumbnail is kind of a mix between having the skills to use Photoshop and also knowing what makes a good thumbnail. I mean, to a lot of beginners, it might seem pretty simple to make a thumbnail. Like, maybe you'll just take a screen cap from the video itself, or you'll just do something super basic and won't even put much thought into it. But you've got to be really good at sort of understanding psychology and coming up with some kind of picture and some sort of title that both explain what the video is about, while also raising curiosity and just drawing people in. And so these are all just elements of what you need to know to just make a single video. Now, if you keep getting better at that and you keep making more and more videos, then you have other stuff you have to learn, such as keeping up with what is trending and following what's popular, which can also influence how you decide to make your next video. Or sometimes you're just doing a channel that doesn't involve trends at all, but you're just having to come up with new ideas every single time. Eventually, you'll actually reach the point where you're getting monetized and maybe being offered brand deals. So then you'll have to spend lots of time learning how to not get demonetized, which my channel should hopefully be a good source for that. And you've got to learn which brand deals to take or which not to take. And now you've got to pay attention to all of the people that are watching your videos. You don't want to just completely ignore them if they're commenting on your channel. And then you've also got to communicate with your fans and talk to them and make sure you're not completely ignoring them. And basically, the bigger your channel gets, the more things there are to be stressed about. So if you put all of this together and you were just working on a channel by yourself, which you probably will be because you won't be making any money right off the bat, you've got to be good at coming up with new ideas, you've got to be good at recording and doing camera stuff, you've got to be good on camera, you've got to be good at video editing, you've got to be good at photo editing, you've got to be good at marketing, and you've got to be good at tracking data and analytics. So basically, running a YouTube channel is very similar to running your own small business, where you just have to do every part of it. Now, if you're lucky enough and your channel is able to grow and you're making lots of money, there is always the possibility of you paying somebody else to edit your videos, or paying people to be your cameraman, or paying somebody else to make your thumbnails, stuff like that. But for the most part, you are self-employed, you're doing this all by yourself. So how does being a YouTuber compare to just a regular, say, 9-to-5 job? Well, some of the pros to being a YouTuber are you can pick your own hours, and you can do anything you want. You have all the creative freedom you want. You technically can never really be fired. You're never really going to get shut down unless YouTube really doesn't like you and they just decide to ban you. But some of the cons are there's no guaranteed income, and even if you are making income, it can be very inconsistent. I have some months on YouTube where I make maybe around $50, and then other months where I've made as much as $6,000. But another con is that there's nobody to really motivate you but yourself. You've got to be the one to push yourself out of bed every morning and actually put a video together. You're also dealing with tons of competition all around the website. So even if you have a good idea, if somebody else that's bigger than you decides to take your idea, then they can make all of the money off of it. And even if you feel like you're really good at all the things I've talked about, there's still a level of luck involved. Now sure, there are some people that start off a new channel and just get super lucky and skyrocket to the top, but that's not something that you should ever count on happening. Now, one nice thing about being able to pick your own hours is that you can also just do it part-time while working a regular job. I mean, it's not even a bad idea to just try and get out one video a week that you work on after you get off your regular job. But hopefully this clears up some things for those that don't actually make videos on YouTube, or to all the people that think that it's the easiest job in the world. But if you're having a hard time coming up with an idea for starting a channel, then you'll definitely want to watch my next video where I'm going to be making a roadmap to YouTube, where I'm going to be talking about every type of channel that is on this website. Or at least I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes.